right, we are going to start standing on your mat today, as this is encouraging stuff going on in your lower body, so we really want to start with some connection to the ground. So if you have your yoga mat already set out, let's go find that. Just find a good space. For the moment, we can maybe be towards the front of your mat, whatever you designate as the front of your mat. If you have any blocks or props, bolsters, maybe a scarf or like a yoga, what's that word? Yoga tie, yoga strap that you like to use, you can grab those and just have them nearby in case you want to grab them for support. So we're going to start today in a mountain pose. You can come to your mat, really spread your feet about hip distance apart, spread your toes wide, ground your feet into the mat. So you want to really think about pressing your feet into the earth, standing up very tall, beginning to just lift your shoulders, lift your upper body off your lower body a little bit so you can stand up taller. And then turn your palms facing outwards, same direction your eyes are looking at the moment. And this is just going to help you get your shoulders wrapped in a little bit more of a natural way. You might feel that your shoulders start to wrap around your back versus if you turn your palms towards the back, you're going to feel your shoulders come out and around a bit. And we want to keep that nice shoulder wrapping. It's really good for your body. So stand up tall. Let's just get connected in this mountain pose a bit. See if you can connect with your breathing some. One of the most helpful areas we can breathe into in the body is the thoracic part of your diaphragm. This is the middle of your diaphragm, where your rib cage comes together and meets. If you were to take one hand and place it right on that middle area where your rib cage connects with each other, you can go ahead and do that now if you like. Placing a hand over your ribs and just breathing in. You should feel that area of your ribs and your lungs push out slightly against your hand. And then feel it contracting in and away towards your spine as you breathe out. And maintain your posture. When we breathe out, the tendency is to want to collapse down onto that part of your body. So let's counteract that by starting to engage the muscles in your core, keeping your spine straight, keeping your shoulders back, pressing into the earth with your feet. Make sure you keep your knees bent. We don't want to straighten your knees for too long. You can cut off the blood flow. So stand up tall, breathe into that belly. As we start to come to your center today, I want you to go ahead and decide what it is you want to connect with. You can connect with the earth, the ground beneath your feet, always there to support you. You can connect with your own body and how your muscle systems are built to support each other. Or maybe if you want to get a little more into it, you can connect with the idea of Mother Earth supporting us all the time, connecting down to the core of the whole planet. So stand up tall, take one last breath in here, and breathe out, connecting into the ground. And let's breathe in together and reach your arms up into the sky. And as you reach your arms up into the sky, keep your palms sort of facing each other. So reaching up. The palms are facing each other like this. Maybe pretend like you're holding a big beach ball between your hands, so that you can Keep some space between your shoulder blades. Take a deep breath here. And exhale, letting those shoulders drop down away from your ears, still pressing into the earth with your feet. Let's breathe into that middle of the belly, and as you exhale this time, we're just going to fold straight forward, hinging from your waist. So imagine your waist is a big hinge that's just going to drop you forward. Your spine stays straight. And you can drop all the way forward, as comfortable as you feel. If your hands don't come to the earth, maybe you can grab a block and bring that block here. Just set your hands there. Let your fists rest. Wherever you're at here, even if you don't have the block, you can just let your hands hang in the air. Let your neck hang. You might feel a little bit of sensation in this pose. Keep yourself hanging down there, and you might feel like your neck is pulling down away, or some sensation going on in your shoulders. Just breathe into it. Keep your hands relaxed, your neck's relaxed. Breathing into the middle of the belly. And then on your next exhale, let's breathe in together and stand all the way up. We're lifting up tall, reaching up to the sky, very slow here. Just lifting back up, keeping some space between your shoulders. And we're going to go all the way back down again, just dropping down low, keeping the knees softly bent. Breathe into your belly. Let the shoulders be loose here. Feet are strong. We're going to lift up halfway on an inhale. So you're halfway, you can bring your hands to your shins, your knees, your thighs, blocks. Just lifting up halfway, straightening your back, reaching the crown of your head towards the front of your room. And then exhale and drop all the way back down. One more time, just like that. We're going to half lift, lifting up, hands gliding up the legs. Breathe in and out and release back to the ground. This time inhale very slowly and lift up slow from the waist, stacking your spine all the way up till you get to your shoulders and then your neck. Shoulders roll back, head lifts up, and we're looking towards the front of the room again. Great, and let's lift those arms up. Deep, deep breath. Coming into a high lunge pose. You can keep your arms up here, or if you'd like to, you can bring your hands to your hips and support this next sequence of movements a little bit. We're going to move into some standing positions that give you a little bit more stretch. So we'll stand up tall. Maybe this time you're going to turn towards the front of your mat, turn towards one side so you're long ways, because we are going to extend the legs long ways here. Take a deep breath, and wherever your arms are at, on your hips, in the sky, let's go ahead and bring one of your feet, let's do the right foot, towards the front of your mat. Step back with the left foot. And maybe keep your heel lifted up off the ground, grounding through your right foot and bending the right knee. So you can spread your feet. If you sort of heel to toe, move your foot up slowly, the mat, if you need a little more space. Standing in a crescent high lunge pose. Maybe you can sweep the arms up. Take a deep breath in. Find some balance and stability in your core here. Lifting the spine tall, neck is tall. And let's go ahead and open up to your left side and open that left foot up. Toes point towards the side of the mat and the heel will come to the ground. All right, so we're now opened up into our Warrior Two pose. Nice strong legs here holding you up. You press into the outsides of both feet rather. That's a great way to give you some stability. Just let your arms hang for a second. Breathing tall, standing up. Find your balance in this pose. Each pose is going to feel a little different to every person. And then to that person, it will feel a little bit different every day. So let's see how this one feels for you today. Maybe let those arms drop. Give them a rest for a second. Bring them back to your hips if you want. Help you stand up tall to drop the shoulders away from your ears. Breathing into that part of your belly. Maybe tuck your low ribs in a little bit to help you stand up tall. And let's spread those arms wide. And from here, we're going to move into a reverse warrior pose. So we're going to flip your right hand, your front hand flips up towards the sky. And go ahead and stay reaching up, but tilt towards the back. Keeping your arms long and reaching. Lots of extension until your back hand comes to that back leg. Right hand should be reaching up straight towards the sky. Just breathe here for a minute. Breathing into the right side of your body, you might feel a little stretch in the side. Let's stay strong in those thighs, strong in the feet to keep you supported. And then we're going to flip back into our warrior two. And now go the other way, so flipping the left palm to the sky, up and over, reaching. As you breathe, and this time bring your right forearm down to the right leg. And you don't want to lean too much on that right leg. Use your belly core breath muscles to support you. Reaching up, maybe that left arm comes up and over your head, extending all the way to the front of your mat. Strong legs. Breathe in here for one more breath. And let's come back up to standing. We're going to repeat that twice. So let's flip the front hand up and over. Breathing in as you extend. Breathing out. Relaxing your shoulder down into your back. And flipping back the other way. Inhale. Left hand comes up to the sky. Right arm to leg. Maybe the left arm extends all the way up and over. And if you are extending here, imagine that you're drawing a line from your left ankle all the way up to the left fingertips. Feel that breath running all the way through your line. Grounding through the feet. Let's push back up. One more time there. Flip the front hand up and over. Breathe in. Maybe feeling a little more stretch in the right side body now that we've gotten into this habit of the flow. Flipping back to your warrior two. And back hand flips up and over. And stretching that left side body. Breathe into the front of your ribs and the side of your ribs here. And then tucking the low ribs into your spine as you breathe out. And let's come back up. Find our warrior two. And then from here, go ahead and drop the hands. Rotate back towards the front of your mat. We're going to come into a warrior one. So you've got about a 45-degree angle in the back foot. Front toes are pointing towards the front of your mat. And if you need to bring the legs a little closer together here, that's fine. If you need to spread them a little more horizontally, that's fine as well. So we're going to keep this front leg bent for our warrior one. Try and keep this back heel down. And go ahead and stand up tall. Again, lifting from the hips. Upper body comes up and off the lower body. Reach the hands up towards the sky. Deep breath in. And breathing out, let the hands drop behind your back. Let the palms come towards each other, crossing the fingers over one another. And then we're going to gently just start to lean forward from the waist. Just like when we did your forward fold, hinging from the waist. Pressing into the edges of your feet and into the toes. Engaging your thighs. All the way into our humble warrior pose. You can let your arms come up towards the sky if you want to stretch your shoulders out a bit. You're welcome to remain here in humble warrior, or if we want to go for our final phase of the warrior sequences, turn that back foot towards the front of the mat, come up onto the back toes, and you would start to lift your back leg, maybe airplane the arms towards your back. Warrior 3. Now again, you're welcome to hang out here in Warrior 1, Humble Warrior, rather. And if you have a block, again, this is a great time to use it. If you want to maybe just bring a hand down to that block and start to get that leg up into the air. Totally up to you. Just hang out here wherever you're at. One more breath. And then all together, if your back leg is up, let's bring it back down to the earth. And then we're going to come up from the waist, breathing in. And breathing out. Go ahead and release those hands. Let them just hang out at your sides for a second. And we're going to turn both feet towards the side of your mat. So we're going to kind of open up here. Toes pointing towards the side of your mat. Feet nice and wide. You can reach the arms up to the sky once for a big 5-star pointed pose. And then let's take one deep breath, reaching up. And we're going to do a forward fold here, wide-legged forward fold, pressing the feet into the earth. Folding all the way down. And again, wherever your hands come here is great. You can have your hands on your legs, to the earth, to a block. Just hanging in the air, whatever you're doing, as long as your neck is relaxed and your shoulders and arms are just hanging out. Maybe the feet are starting to feel a little bit energized, worked out. We're going to give the feet a break in just a second. Breathing here, keeping your knees nice and bent. Let's come all the way back up as you inhale. And reach towards the sky. And then bringing the legs back together here. Let's go ahead and turn back towards the front of your mat. Come back into your mountain pose. Reach the arms up. Press those feet into the ground. Remember that we talked about how the systems of your body are all supporting each other. So your feet hold you up. Your muscles bear the weight. Your core holds you up. Your core should be holding a lot of the weight of your body in all actions. Let's breathe in here, arms up. We're going to fold forward from the waist. This time bringing the hands down to the mat. You can walk the hands forward a little bit if you need, coming into a downward dog pose. Just transitioning here. You're welcome to just hang out in downward dog or go straight to child's pose for a rest. Or if you'd like to just move through a little bit of a flow, we can come from downward dog to plank, then lowering to the ground from our plank. So we can come forward through your hands with the chest if you want to do that. Press into the ground with your fingertips. Lower down all the way to the mat, stabilizing from your core. Maybe a quick lift of your chest up off the mat. Tiny baby cobra, and then releasing back as you breathe out. And then pressing up and back with the hips. We're going to all meet in our child's pose. So you can have your knees together here, just bent straight over your knees and legs. The air surrounds you, holding everything in the room. And as you breathe in, you take in pieces of it. And then you breathe something back out into it. So let's go ahead and on an inhale, come back up onto your hands and knees. Hands on either side of the mat, pressing into it, shoulder width apart, knees about hip width apart. Press into the tops of your feet for a little more support for the knees here. And then as we press your knuckles and your palms strong into the mat to support the wrists, we're going to breathe into the belly, curl the toes, lift the knees, hips go up into downward dog. Maybe you pedal the feet just a little bit here, letting one heel drop, other comes up, and then switching sides. Breathe into your belly. And then on your next inhale, I want you to take the left leg up off the mat, point it towards the sky, rotating up and back, and then coming back the other way, knee towards your nose, maybe exhaling, tucking your ribs. And inhale, plant your foot right between your hands, and we'll come up to do our other side. Breathing in deep here. Inhale. You can be in your warrior one here. Keeping that back heel angled at 45 degrees. Back heel down, back foot angled. Front foot straight forward. Your hips should be working towards the front of the mat in warrior one. We're reaching up towards the sky. Breathing in deep. And then let your hands drop back behind your back. Maybe opposite fists. Opposite thumbs cross as you cross your fists this time. And we're going to breathe in here. Then go ahead and release the hands. And open up so you can bring your right foot to point towards one side of the mat at about a 90-degree angle to your front foot, left foot. The arms come wide for warrior two. And same sequence on this side. We're going to head through it 3 times. So we'll go front palm lifts up towards the sky, breathing in to lengthen your spine, and then reaching up towards the sky, letting the back hand come down towards the leg. Engaging your core muscles here all throughout the middle of your body so that you keep that strong support. All right, and then let's come on back through to the other side. So we're coming from here back to warrior two, arms extended to either side, grounding through the edges of your feet. Back hand lifts up to the sky. And we're going to go up and over. Forearm to the leg here. Breathing into your belly, rotating the hips open. Really the right hip, you want to try and rotate that open so that you're not curling down towards the mat, but opening up towards the room. Go ahead and inhale, and let's lift back up. Turning the front palm up towards the sky, flipping up and over, straightening the front leg out a little bit. Extended reverse warrior. And then we'll flip back the other way. 2 more times. We're going to come up and over, reaching the right hand, maybe all the way up and over. Reach towards the front of the room this time. Breathe in. And exhale, come back up. Inhale and stretching, straightening the front leg. Up and over. Towards the back. Exhale, come back up. And now let's breathe in last time into our extended side angle. Reaching towards the front of the room. Wrap your pinky down towards the mat. Breathe in. Go ahead and inhale and come back up. We'll return to your warrior one and go back through that same flow on this side to head into a humble warrior or maybe into your warrior 3 position. So we're going to start by maybe lifting the hands up towards the sky, turning the mat, turning the hips towards the front of the mat. Then let the hands come back down behind your back and make a fist, crossing one thumb over the other. Maybe pull your left knee, start to pull it towards the outside of your body a little bit so it doesn't start to curve in or collapse in towards your midline. Want to maybe pressing out with the thighs. Then take a deep breath in, extending up tall. Send your crown of the head towards the top of the room. And hinging at the waist, lean forward, breathe out. Tuck the low ribs, tuck the belly. Long spine. And maybe you stay here. Maybe you lift your fists towards the sky. Maybe we start to lift the back toes. And then lift that foot up, head into a full warrior 3. Just breathing in here, feeling how your body supports itself. The breath is the core of everything, so if you need more balance, get some more breath. Let's drop that back foot if you have it lifted. Come back to your humble warrior, folded forward. Then all together we'll breathe in and stand up tall, relaxing the arms. Let's bring those legs back together, feet back together. Only so we can turn sideways on your mat and come to a wide-legged stance. You can take a couple quick breaths in your 5-pointed star pose with both hands extended up towards the sky like a star. Or you can keep your hands relaxed and just hang out and breathe here for a second if you need it. We're going to do our forward fold here again. So we'll keep our knees nice and bent. Outsides of your feet are pressing into the floor, but the insides should be nice and firm into the floor as well. Maybe spread your toes a little bit. Try to grip the ground with your toes. Breathe in, reach the hands up. And fold forward from the waist. Try not to lean backwards with the hips. Just leaning forward till you start to come towards the ground. Maybe hands come to a block here. Maybe you hang out with your hands hanging in the air and just wiggle the fingers a little bit. Just let your neck hang. Let those muscles pull apart with the help of gravity. Really grounding with the feet here. Engaging the thighs. Breathing into the low belly. Let's go ahead and breathe in here, just a couple more breaths. back in the middle. I'm going to come back up to stand tall. You can have both arms spread wide again, feet grounding into the mat, lifting up from your waist until you reach this tall standing pose. Well, let's go ahead and turn back towards the front of your mat again. So we are facing the front of your mat. You can bring your legs together, maybe a little bit more. You can have your feet all the way together if that's what feels nice and strong and balanced for you. Or if you like a little more space between your feet, maybe hip width apart, that would be great as well. Breathe in. Let's reach the hands up. And we're going to do another forward fold here. Lots of folding in this one. Getting you to bring hands to the ground, feet to the ground, and trust that the ground will be there to hold you. Let your neck drop, the crown of your head drop. Breathe into the belly. And then if we want to walk the hands forward, get some more space between the hands and the legs, come into a downward dog. Maybe you want to head to a child's pose to rest for a minute, rest the legs. Or maybe we can come through a quick little vinyasa flow to plank, and then lowering all the way to the ground, engaging the belly muscles. Lifting the chest. And lowering, and then pressing all the way up and back into your child's pose. And child's pose is where we rest. And the hips come to the feet. Just taking some deep breaths here. Returning to what it feels like to take a deep breath into your body. What your legs feel like after those little stretches, maybe. Just breathing into that belly, letting your hips be heavy. And then on our next inhale, let's come up from your child's pose. Hands are nice and wide with the shoulders. Knees are wide as the hips. And then we're going to lift back up, come back to our standing position for just a few more poses. So we can do that by returning to downward dog. And then lifting your right leg up towards the sky. Bringing the knee towards the nose on an exhale. Planting the foot, breathing in. And then bringing that other foot back up to meet it. And we're back in our famous forward fold. Breathing into the belly here. Let your neck be long and heavy. And then we're going to do another half lift here. So breathing in, extend the spine towards the front of your mat. And then release, hands back towards the earth, crown of the head towards the earth. And this time we're going to come up into a chair pose. So as we come up, maybe you let the hands be wide, hips start to drop back, and the knees stay bent at around a 90-degree angle. If we can aim for that, you can start to lift the hands. Maybe your hands are just reaching forward in front of you. Quick workout for the thighs here. Then let's bring your palms to meet at the center of your chest. We're just going to twist a little bit over to your left. So let's slowly twist. Bring your right elbow to the outside of your left leg. And we are in a twisted chair pose. Press into the earth. If this feels like a little much, feel free to hang out in downward dog or in forward fold or just in a chair pose. And then let's come back up to the center, reach the hands forward or up and over. And then we'll go ahead and fold back down to the earth. And then on your inhale, breathe in, start to lift up all the way into your mountain. Let the hands be facing towards the front of your mat with your gaze. Breathing into your belly. Deep breaths here. And then we're going to work on moving into your version of a tree pose here. So starting by grounding the right leg into the mat. I'm going to bring the left heel up off the mat. Just start to bend that left knee a little bit. Lift the heel. Ground the right foot. Keep your hands by your sides. Hands on your hips. Or maybe you want to come to prayer hands at your chest. And then start to lift that knee up off the mat. And when you are ready, you can start to lift your foot up off the mat slowly. Just balancing on one leg at first. See what that feels like. Balancing that leg up off the mat and then eventually turning the left knee out towards your left side, bringing the foot to meet the leg. Now, you can feel free to keep your toes on the mat and just press your foot into the space right above your right ankle. Press the right foot into the ground. Get a little balance here, extending through the entire right side of your body. Or if we want to bring the foot up a little higher, you can go to your inside of your calf or all the way up into your thigh if that feels good. Just be sure that you're avoiding the knee area if you're going up higher. And we'll hang out here and just take a deep breath, get some balance in that leg. Again, trusting your body to support you. Maybe finding a focal point in front of you to keep your eyes on. That can help with the balance. And let's go ahead and release that left leg. Let the knee come back towards the front. Leg drops down to the mat. And we're back on both feet here. Maybe lift one heel and then the other. And stretch the arches of your feet a little bit. Relax the arms. Just taking some light movement here. Wiggle around, stretch your shoulders. Maybe neck goes from side to side slowly. And then let's go on to the other side. You'll turn back towards the front of your mat. Feet either together, or a little bit hip width apart. Take a deep breath, reach the hands up. Again, we're tucking the low belly, tucking the core in to the spine for support. And then folding forward as you exhale. We're going to come into a half lift here. Breathing in. Lifting up. Hands glide up the legs to wherever you like them. And then dropping back down. Let's breathe in. Come up for our chair. So let the hips drop back. Sinking down. Hands coming up. As high as you like them, as long as you're keeping the shoulders apart. Lots of space between the shoulders and the back body. And this time we'll let the hands come together at the chest. Turn towards your right side, supporting from the belly. And press that left elbow into your right thigh for a twisted chair pose. Breathing into your belly. As much as you can, evenly distribute the weight between your feet. Maybe spreading the toes for a little more active engagement. And let's come back to center, deep breath. Hands come up. And then we'll fold all the way back forward again. And as you inhale, let's come back up to stand up into our mountain pose. And we'll head to tree on the other side. We'll go ahead and just start to ground through the left foot, lifting the right heel off the mat. Lifting up onto those right toes. Maybe your hands are at your hips, hands reaching up to the sky, hands at your heart center. Keep the spine long as you start to lift the knee up off the ground. Get a little balance. Understand what it feels like to distribute that weight throughout your left foot. Keep your left knee slightly bent. And then finding a focal point in front of you, we'll bring your right foot either to the inside of your ankle, inside of your shin, or all the way up into your thigh. If you'd like, you can keep your hands at heart center here. Hands on hips, or reaching up to the sky. Wherever your right leg is at, try and drop the right hip. Make sure you're not hiking that hip up to get your foot to where it needs to be. Deep breath. Just balancing here. Let your legs hold you up. Strong thighs engaging. Strong left foot pushing you up from the earth. Then release the right foot back to the earth. Release the arms. Kind of pedal those feet out. Stretch the arches. That might be a little bit of waking up some muscles in the feet. You may want to get a little counteractive stretch to that. And then we'll move into our final sequence down on our mat. So we're going to move down to lower on the mat from our standing pose. Go ahead and reach the hands up. If you want to just head into child's pose or tabletop and wait there, that's where we're heading. So we can hinge from the waist all the way forward. Forward fold, hands to the earth, deep breath. Let's halfway lift as you breathe in. And extend. Drop as you exhale. And come forward with the hands, walking the hands forward. Walking the feet back. In a downward dog here. Press into the earth with the ball of your palm. And with your fingertips and knuckles. Then we're going to go ahead and just bring one leg up towards the sky. Let's do the left leg. Just like we did earlier, three-legged dog here. Left leg up towards the sky. Right heel nice and strong. And then we'll bring that knee towards the nose. Plant the left foot. And find ourselves in a low runner's lunge. You can keep your hands on the mat, fingertips on the mat, or grab your blocks and put one under each hand. If you want to be a little taller here, some more support. We're going to start to shift your weight backwards. Drop the back knee onto the mat. Press the top of your right foot into the mat nice and firm to support the knee. Then start to pull the hips back towards that right foot and straighten your front leg. Eventually, we're going to bring the heel of the left foot to the mat and start to flex the left foot, keeping a little bit of a bend in this left knee. And then both hands on the mat or on blocks, fingertips on the mat. Start to just breathe in, look forward. Breathe out, look back down towards your leg. Press the top of your right foot into the mat. Strong thighs here. Breathing in, looking forward. Breathing out, looking down. And then one more just like that. Breathe in, look forward. Breathe out, look back down. Come back to your core breathing here. And we're going to gently rotate our hips forward just a little bit, shifting the hips forward back onto the front leg. Bring the hands all the way flat to the mat. And we're going to bring the left foot back to meet the right on hands and knees here. Back to a tabletop. And then go ahead and curl the toes under. Lift the hips up and back. And we'll lift the right toes up towards the sky, grounding through the left foot. Pressing through the hands, but relaxing the shoulders. Right knee come towards the nose. Right foot plants in between your hands. Again, for our low runner's lunge here. Breathing into the belly. Tuck the low ribs in as you exhale. And then again, we're going to drop the back knee. Extend those toes to press the foot into the mat. Start to shift the weight of the hips back. And straighten the front leg. Flexing your right foot. Bending the right knee. Then sync up with your breath here, looking forward as you inhale. Down as you exhale. We're going to take 3 more breaths like that, your own pace. Remembering to engage your core and press into the mat with that foot and your fingertips. Breathing out our final breath here. Let's shift the weight forward again. Right foot comes back to the mat. Plant the hands. And bring the right knee back, tabletop position. Now again, you're welcome to head to child's pose. And that's where we're going to go from here. Or you can take a quick vinyasa through tabletop, plank, chaturanga, cobra pose. Or plank, fully extending the legs, heading towards child pose. We're going to press up tall for one last strong plank. Feeling the strength we've built in your legs, all those muscles you activated. And then lowering slowly. Pressing up on the tops of the feet, lifting the shoulders gently. And lowering back down to the mat. And then finally pressing the hips back to our child's pose. This will be our final child's pose here today. So feel free to extend your arms a little longer. Let the elbows drop down to the mat if you want to be super relaxed. Maybe lifting the elbows up off the mat so that you get a little more active in the arms. Wherever you're at, child's pose. Just breathing in here. Letting the hips be heavy. Coming back to the intention you set to connect with something earlier on in our practice. Let's breathe in and out. Maybe you can bring your forehead all the way down to the mat. Bring your knees wide. Connecting to your breath. Allowing the earth to come up and hold you. Allowing the systems of your body to connect to one another so that you can relax each and every muscle. Just be here. Just resting on the mat. Coming up from your child's pose, we're just gonna maybe come up on your hands and knees or forearms and knees. Turn onto one side and then swinging your legs forward, sitting up. And turning all the way over. Just whatever way works best for you. Lowering down onto your back here. For Shavasana. Final rest here. This is where you let all the work you've done soak into your muscles. Start to let your body integrate all the work you put into it today. It's a beautiful act of self-love to pay attention to your body. The more you connect with it, the more it will support you. You can let your knees drop to the mat. Let your heels be heavy. You can let your legs come a little wider. Or if you'd like, you can grab a pillow or a rolled up blanket, set it underneath your knees to keep the knees lifted. Or even just keep the feet pressing into the mat and let the knees fall to the middle. Wherever your Shavasana, resting pose is, let's make our way there. Breathe in. And out. As we start to end our practice today, you're welcome to remain lying on your back as long as you like, maybe letting your eyes drift closed. I'm going to play us out with a little chanting and singing bowl. As you may know, each chakra, each area of the body has a specific sound attached to it. When we work with the lower body, the root chakras, we can use the sound LAM, L-A-M, or we can use the vowel sound as in what, or grub. UH is the vowel sound for the root chakra. So we can take a few deep breaths as we play it out here. And if you feel like making some noise to bring you back into your body, it's a great way to do it. You can use the sound just singing long notes, maybe long low notes. Long low notes on ahead and start to wiggle your fingers and toes if you are still in Shavasana. Take some deep breaths into your belly. Feel the rise and fall of your chest. And if you want to hang out and just meditate here for a while, that's okay too. Remember the connection you've built with your body today. And you can come back to that anytime. Finding strength in your core. Strengthen your connection to your body and the earth. One last breath, maybe bring the hands to the earth. Even more strengthening that connection. Breathe out. And thank yourself. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.